Sarah and Tom's love story was the kind people wrote about. College sweethearts. They were the golden couple everyone admired. They built a beautiful life together, a cozy house in the suburbs, 2 wonderful kids, and a bond that seemed unbreakable. Tom, a dedicated software engineer, worked hard to provide for his family, often putting in long hours. Trusted Sarah completely, believing their home was a sanctuary of love and honesty. But beneath the surface of their picture-perfect life, a crack was forming, one that would soon shatter everything Tom held dear. It all began subtly. Sarah, who had been a stay-at-home mom, decided to rejoin the workforce. She landed a part-time job at a local art gallery. Tom was her biggest supporter. He was thrilled to see her pursuing her passion for art again, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. At first, everything seemed normal. She'd come home buzzing with stories about new exhibits and interesting customers. But then, the late nights started. It's inventory, she'd say, or we're setting up for a big opening. Tom never questioned it. Why would he? This was his Sarah, the woman he'd loved for over a decade. A new name began to pop up in her stories. Mark. He was the gallery's charismatic owner, man with a flair for the dramatic and a way with words. Sarah described him as a mentor, someone who was helping her navigate the art world. Mark is so brilliant, she'd gush. He really sees the potential in me. Tom smiled, happy for her, but a tiny, nagging feeling began to sprout in the back of his mind. He'd notice her smiling at her phone more often, quickly putting it away when he entered the room. He'd ask who she was texting, and she'd wave it off with a casual, "Oh, just a friend from work." The distance between them grew, not like a sudden chasm, but like a slow, creeping tide. Their evening conversations became shorter. Her laughter, once a constant melody in their home, seemed reserved for someone else. Tom tried to bridge the gap. He'd suggest date nights, family outings, anything to recapture the magic they once had. But Sarah always had an excuse. A work event, a last-minute deadline, or simply, "I'm too tired, Tom." He felt a chill that had nothing to do with the weather. He was losing her, and he didn't know why. The annual company retreat was a tradition at Tom's firm. A weekend getaway in a mountain lodge. It was a time for team building and relaxation. This year, though, Tom felt a deep reluctance to go. Leaving Sarah and the kids felt wrong, especially with the growing unease he couldn't shake. "You should go," Sarah insisted, packing his bag. "You work so hard, you deserve a break. I'll be fine here with the kids." Her encouragement felt a little too eager, a little too forceful. Reluctantly, he agreed. As he kissed her goodbye, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. That Friday evening at the lodge was a blur of corporate presentations and forced small talk. Tom's mind was miles away, back home. He found himself constantly checking his phone, hoping for a text from Sarah. Around 10 p.m., a message finally came through. "Kids are asleep, having a quiet night in with a movie." This attached was a photo of their cat curled up on the sofa. Tom smiled, a wave of relief washing over him. Maybe he was just being paranoid. Maybe everything was fine. He sent a quick "miss you too" and tried to focus on the event. The next morning, Tom was scrolling through his social media feed while sipping his coffee. It was a habit, a mindless way to start the day. He scrolled past vacation photos and baby announcements until one post made him freeze. It was from a local restaurant's public page, a place he and Sarah had been to for anniversaries. They had posted a gallery of photos from the previous night, capturing the lively atmosphere. The caption read, "Another fantastic Friday night at the Gilded Fork. Thanks to everyone who joined us." He idly swiped through the pictures. A group of friends laughing, a couple celebrating a birthday. And then the third photo. His heart stopped. His breath hitched in his throat. The world around him faded into a dull, roaring sound. There, in the background of the shot, seated at a secluded corner table, was Sarah. She was leaning in close to another man, her head tilted. A radiant smile on her face, a smile he hadn't seen directed at him in months. And the man she was with, his hand resting intimately on her arm, was Mark. The image was a punch to the gut. Every detail was seared into his brain. The way she was looking at Mark, the same way she used to look at him. The wine glasses on the table, the lie, quiet night in with a movie. The words echoed in his head, a cruel mockery of his trust. He zoomed in, his hand shaking so violently he could barely hold the phone. There was no doubt. It was her. It was them. The casual touch, the shared intimacy, was all there, exposed in a single, careless photograph. Tom felt a strange mix of white-hot rage and icy numbness. The background chatter of his colleagues faded away. He excused himself, claiming a sudden headache, and stumbled back to his room. He locked the door and sank onto the bed, staring at the photo, the tiny nagging feelings, the late nights. The secretive texts had all clicked into place, forming a hideous, undeniable picture of betrayal. The woman he loved, the mother of his children, had built a secret life. And it was a random restaurant photo that had just burned it all to the ground. The drive home was the longest of Tom's life. Every mile was torture, his mind racing with questions, accusations, and a deep, profound sorrow. He walked into the house to find Sarah in the kitchen, humming as she made pancakes for the kids. She looked up, surprised. "Tom, you're back early. Is everything okay?" she asked, her voice laced with a fake, cheerful concern that now sounded like nails on a chalkboard to him. He didn't answer, simply walked over, his face a mask of stone, and held out his phone. He showed her the picture. The color drained from her face. Her cheerful humming died in her throat. The spatula she was holding clattered to the floor. For a moment, there was only silence, thick with unspoken truths. Her eyes darted from the phone to his face, searching for an escape, a way to spin this. But there was none. The evidence was irrefutable. "Tom, I can explain," she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. But Tom just shook his head. "A quiet night in, Sarah?" I asked, his voice cracking with the weight of his shattered heart. A quiet night in? The perfect life they had built was gone? In its place were the ruins of lies and broken trust, all brought to light by a single, accidental photo. Sarah thought she could hide her secret forever, but the truth has a way of finding the light, even in the most unexpected ways. For Tom, the road ahead would be long and painful. But it would also be a road toward a new, more honest future, one free from the shadows of deceit. It's a heartbreaking reminder that sometimes the pictures we don't mean to take are the ones that reveal the most. Thank you for watching.